Swing big and save even bigger with our Big League Markdowns at Capital Ford and Santa Fe. This is your shot at big league deals, like a new 2025 Ford F-150 XLT four-wheel drive Power Boost Hybrid, now up to $9,900 off MSRP, or a new 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty, now up to $6,100 off MSRP. We're offering up home run deals all day, every day with these Big League Markdowns.
Who says time travel isn't possible? That you can't go back 400 years in a single afternoon to a place where free spirits still run free, where things made by hand make memories, where a getaway feels like you're getting a world away. There are so many things that make the city different, and so much more waiting to be uncovered.
And we are back with another great episode with the Santa Fe Gloom live stream. We've got Coach Pazo in the house, CSU Pueblo new men's head soccer coach. Coach, thank you for jumping on tonight.
No, David, thank you for having me. It means a lot. Appreciate you and excited to chat.
No, you're very welcome. This is great, man. This is like memory lane for me, because I am a very proud alumni of CSU Pueblo. Played soccer there. Feel like it was 2005 to 2009, and so many great memories. And I love Pueblo as a community. And recently, within, I guess, the last 5 years or so, CSU Pueblo has been a powerhouse in Division II soccer. So this year, Coach, you get to lead them to keep that powerhouse and also to kind of rebuild a little bit, but kind of tell our audience and our Gloom fans what brought you to CSU Pueblo.
Yeah, man, a lot of things. I'm super excited to be here. It's a big opportunity for me. Just like you said, CSU Pueblo is a program that has been around forever. And yeah, in the last 4 years, made 3 Final Fours, 2 finals. And yeah, it's a program that, it's really well known in the whole country. And I've wanted to be a head coach again for a minute in college. I wanted to coach a program that had high expectations. I wanted to coach in a place that had good values. And to top it all off, my wife is from Colorado. So we've been wanting to come here for quite some time. So when the opportunity to come coach at CSU Pueblo became a reality, it was a no-brainer for us. And yeah, I'm super pumped, super excited to be here.
When you're recruiting, what type of characteristics are you looking for in a player?
Great question.
Yeah, outside of playing on the field,
Yeah, for sure. I think at CSU Pueblo, it goes without saying, right? We're looking for top players. We're looking for the best caliber of player possible, and that definitely goes without saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But definitely looking for guys who are positive, who are selfless, who want to work as a team, who want to, develop themselves as people, as footballers, and who want to be the best version of themselves. It does sound a little bit cliche, mm-hmm. but it's the truth, man. I'm not looking for troublemakers. I'm not looking for guys who want to play a little bit of soccer and not care about it and not care about the program too much. I want players that really, really want to be here. So that's going to be key. I'm bringing 21 new guys this class, and
wow.
I feel confident those 21 new guys fit that profile. So really excited about the group that we have coming in, and really excited about the returners that we have coming in as well.
Yeah. And how do you know? When you mentioned you feel like they fit the profile, obviously the proof is in the pudding when you get out to training, but what's kind of the inside gut instincts that you're feeling when you're watching them, watching recruiting trips or meeting them, meeting their families, asking them where they're from or what do they want in a program? Like, what's your inner side compass of knowing like, hey, yeah, this guy's a good fit?
Listen, I think you only know when they're here. You only truly know when they're here because then now you get to see the kid every day. You get to see the kid when maybe he isn't playing as much. You
Mm-hmm.
get to see the kid when things are not going his way at training. You get to see how he behaves when there are obstacles on the way, right? That's when you truly see someone's character. But I think you make your best guesstimates when you get the conversations going on Zoom, when you meet the parents, when you get references from coaches, when you watch full matches. I think one of the reasons why coaches want to see full matches nowadays so much is you also want to see how the player behaves off the ball, how the player behaves towards officials, how the player behaves towards opponents, towards his coaches. That gives you a really good idea. But the truth is, you only know when the kid gets there. That's the reality of recruiting, in my opinion.
And we talked a little offline about this, but what was one of the few or the first things that you did when you came to CSU Pueblo? Who was the first few people that you contacted to be like, all right, what am I getting myself into? What's the vibe of the culture of the Pueblo community, the soccer community, and the university? And what were those conversations like based on?
Yeah, so when I came to CSU Pueblo, I had a 30-day plan of what I wanted to accomplish in the first 30, first 60, first 90 days. That really helped me balance, and be able to focus on specific things. But I definitely reached out to a lot of the alumni, tried to understand how we got here,
Mm-hmm.
right? The first thing I did was reach out to the last three coaches of the program, Coach Blackwell, Coach 12 Trees, and Coach Roy Stanley. Talk to them about, what challenges they had, how they found success. And obviously I also talk to the players quite a bit as well. Just like I mentioned to you when we were talking offline, CSU Pueblo is a program that has had a lot of success, is a program that has been around for a long time. And I would be a fool if I completely try to ignore everything that the other coaches did here, right? I think us coaches, just like Pep likes to say, we are uh, thieves of ideas, right? And
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
and I want to be a big thief of all the good ideas in the world. And Coach Blackwell has some really good ideas. Coach 12 Trees had some really good ideas, and Coach Roy Stanley had some really good ideas as well. So definitely reached out to all those guys. And yeah, of course, I want to implement my ideas as well. I want to put my stamp into this program. I want to be here for a long time, and I want to do some really good things. And of course, there are things that I want to do it my way, but I'm an open-minded guy, and I want to listen, and I want to seek to understand before I'm understood. That's something that I always want to make sure that I'm doing, not only in soccer but in my life. So speaking to the community, speaking to the people that are here, speaking to the people that were here and were successful, that was a huge part of what I try to do, especially in my first 90 days here at the program.
Yeah. I mean, you reached out to me, coach. I think you sent me a text or you even just called me. I remember I was at the gym huffing and puffing and you had called me and I just thought that was really cool. I think the
Thank you.
last coach had also done that as well. And so I definitely give you kudos for that and just trying to understand the culture, and I've been out of school for a while too. So, and we were also talking offline about the alumni game coming up in 3 or 4 weeks. And if you asked if I was going to be playing and there's no way. There's no way. I would love to step on the field again, but it just doesn't happen the same way it did. But Eric Moulton in the chat says, "Vamos Gloom, glad you have regional colleges involved." And I think that's a really good point in that, to my knowledge, CSU Pueblo is the closest soccer school to Santa Fe.
Could be, yeah.
I think so.
Well, there's no. I know for a fact that there are no Division two men's soccer programs in New Mexico,
Correct.
um,
Correct.
which creates a really good opportunity for us. We have a player from New Mexico in the team. His brother played for the program as well, and then transferred to SMU afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And we always
We had
have,
him on the show.
yeah, exactly. So we always have New Mexico players in our ID camps. In fact, our ID camp in May that we had, the best player in that camp was from New Mexico, and that's someone that I'm recruiting very seriously for 2027. So so Santa Fe, New Mexico, it's a market that we definitely want to always be in touch with, and
Mhm.
New Mexico residents pay in-state tuition at CSU Pueblo. So
Yeah.
no brainer for New Mexican soccer players to be looking at us.
Is that still called the WUI?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
I think I shared a story, and I'll share it again. It's worth sharing that uh, the financial aid office, every time I went to like go pay or whatever, I just said I was a WUI student. I had no clue what WUI stood for. I had no idea. I was like, man, this is like a magic word. But if I remember correctly, it's Western Undergraduate Exchange. And
yeah,
then I went to grad school to the HSB building, and I said, I'm a WUI student. And that's, I think, where I found out that it meant undergraduate. And I was like, ooh, okay, now I understand what I'm getting myself into. So,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
WUI is great. I mean, it's I think a regional thing. I think there's Hawaii is involved, like West Texas, Colorado, obviously, some California schools.
They
So,
have different programs, and now what they also have is the Rise program, which involves 12 or 11 different states
okay,
in this area, and all of them paying state tuition at CSU Pueblo. So
that's good.
that really provides us some good opportunities to recruit some really good players. And because of that, for example, we're going to have 9 different states represented in
That's
the
right.
squad this
Right.
next year, as well as 14 different countries. So
14
really,
countries.
14 different countries, almost every single continent. We only don't have Oceania as a continent. That's something that's
Huh.
not in my bucket list for the next recruiting class, so we can have
Okay.
every single continent
Wow.
accounted for. But yeah, 14 different countries, 9 different states. Very diverse group of guys. That's something that I'm very passionate about.
Mhm.
I think the game is a game of course, decision making, you and problem solving. So in my opinion, if you have a bunch of guys that look the same, talk the same, think the same, you're not solving many problems on the field, or you're not, at least you're not giving them enough incentives to solve problems. So I definitely want to have a very diverse group every single year here at CSU Pueblo Men's Soccer.
Yeah, I guess that can also work maybe against you too, that there's just a lot of different personalities and a lot of trains of thought playing too, but it's kind of your job and your staff's job to mold it together, right?
For sure, for sure. It can definitely be a challenge to get everyone on the same page, guys who see the game differently, who have different behaviors, who have different beliefs and etc. But I think that's also the beauty of the game, right? That's why it's called the world's game, and
Yeah.
and what unites all of us, and yeah, it's our responsibility to get all on the same page and become a team. That's the beauty of coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk us through your futsal experience. Because, Coach, you're from Brazil, correct? That's why I can see
Correct.
that
Yeah.
Brazilian jersey back there. Tell us about your futsal experience and why you think it's so important to develop our youth with futsal and then go into the field setting.
I mean, I'm a massive fan of futsal. I played futsal my whole life. I played in my academy until I was about 11, 12, and then I made the transition to 11v11. But at school, I've always played futsal my whole life, and
Mhm.
one of my favorite games ever. I think futsal is amazing to develop not only technical skills but decision making skills.
Mhm.
At futsal, players are involved at the game center. Game center in the 11v11 is considered the radio of 9 meters around you, and futsal is a little bit smaller, around 4 meters. And when you're at the game center, your decision making needs to be a lot faster, needs to be a lot sharper. So if you are constantly being put in the game center, you are definitely developing this faster and more intelligent decision making skills, and of course, undeniable that you're developing technical skills by touching the ball so many, a lot more often. So I think that futsal is a phenomenal pathway to develop technical, tactical, physical skills. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. And I promise I am not saying that just because I'm here in this podcast. I love futsal. I think it's tremendous.
Yeah, no, we believe you. Our first coach, Coach Brazil, because he was from Brazil, he was the same way. He was like all about futsal, and a lot of our viewers know our story with the Santa Fe Gloom is we started off as an arena soccer team, which is, I believe, 6v6. I feel like it's off the turf and off the walls, which is very popular in the United States. And I personally really like it. However, learning more about futsal and the world's game of soccer, the soccer purists really prefer futsal because of everything you just mentioned. So it's just a breath of fresh air that we're like, what futsal and the Gloom is really part of the ecosystem to get the United States to beat Brazil in a World Cup championship game, right? I mean, that's the fantasy world that us Americans live in. But yeah, I definitely appreciate all that feedback, Coach. Tell us a little bit about that shirt in the back. It says, "Be a good person." I feel like that's one of your training tops. You mentioned you can't take credit for it, but I feel like that's worth noting because I really like that slogan.
Yeah, I cannot take credit for that shirt at all. That came from Coach Blackwell, who I'm very lucky, to be in a position where we talk often, we message each other, we call each other, and I've known Coach Blackwell for a minute because I coached at Duluth FC before, and we would always talk about players because obviously I've always wanted to get players from CSU Pueblo to play at that semi-pro level.
Okay.
And yeah, so he's the one who brought that shirt, and when I got here, I saw it and I loved it because that's what I'm all about as well. I'm about having good people, having good human beings who want to be role models to the community as my players. Because I think that's if I'm coaching college kids and I'm not making them better human beings and I'm not making the community better because of them, then what am I doing here? That's my whole motto as a soccer coach as well, as a college soccer coach. So that's a shirt that, again, I am always happy to be a thief of ideas. And when I saw that shirt, I loved it. And again, I will not take credits. That's Coach Blackwell's idea, but I am keeping it around 100%.
Yeah, I think it's a really good compass. That's something that we may need to steal with the Santa Fe Gloom, because I'm always, saying like, are these guys good people in the community? Are these good role models? We want good futsal players, but, are they going to show up for autographs? Are they going to do their thing in the community? Because that means a lot. One thing, Coach, that I want to get your advice on too is how do you keep the culture of the team when some of the players obviously aren't playing, right? How do you kind of keep that? Because you're recruiting guys who are all-star studs in club soccer and high school soccer, but it's inevitable that they're going to step on their freshman year and maybe not play at all. So how do you keep everything in one nice package and motivate everybody? Because I think that's just something really difficult to do. When I was recruited to CSU Pueblo, that was one of the first questions I asked. Well, first of all, I was like, where's Pueblo? They're like, it's 4 hours away from Santa Fe. I was like, that's a good start. But I said, am I going to play? That's just where I was at. I wanted to go to a place where I wanted to play, and my biggest accomplishment there at Pueblo at that time, my freshman year, was making the traveling team. That was just like the biggest deal. I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm right there. And then part of my freshman year, towards the end, I started to start, and then my sophomore year, and I was off to the races. But if I wasn't a starter that freshman year, I'm sure a lot of kids just pack it in.
It's a challenge, man. It's a challenge 100%. And I was listening to a podcast one of these days. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember who said this, but a professional coach said that in many ways, the environment and the culture of the team sometimes it can be defined by the players who are not playing.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge because everyone wants to play. I understand that. When I was a player, I wanted to play too. And it's normal to be upset and to not be too content when you're not a constant name in the starting 11. I think that creating a sense of belonging within the team is huge. Making sure that we have a shared purpose, that all the players understand that everyone has a role, and although some people's role are going to be to be the star of the team, and the other player's role is going to be to be a training player.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we win something, we all win, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, whenever we lose, we all lose.
Mm-hmm.
I think giving the players the same amount of respect is very important, and that is given by treating them the same. What I like to say is, and that's from Klopp, is treat everyone the same 50% of the time, and treat them differently 50% of the time, because I gotta also be smart and treat someone who grew up in Europe with
Mm-hmm.
all the best conditions in the world. I can't treat that person exactly the same as someone that was born and raised in maybe Africa without the best conditions
Mm-hmm.
in the world. So you gotta have that those abilities, the social abilities, and to be able to treat them differently in that sense. But also give them the respect when it comes to training. That's something that I'm going to tell the guys next week whenever they arrive on campus is, guys, I'm going to give you a lot of respect by training you the same, and everyone's going to get an opportunity to train. Everyone's going to get an opportunity to showcase their skills, and playing time is going to be based a lot on are you performing every day in training.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I'm talking forever, but
Yeah, you're good.
culture is also something that is not built in a day, is not built in a few months. It's something that's always going to be built, throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact we're going to have challenges because we are a brand new team under
Yep.
a brand new coach, and we're going to have to go through some storms and some rough weather, but we need to be together. And I think showing the players every single day that I care about them, that I care about their development, that I care about their success on and off the field, it's also going to go a long way. So it's definitely a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah, no, definitely. And kind of looking back on like my soccer career, like I can't remember who did what or, whatsoever on game 3 or 4, but I do remember other things. And I do know that I'm on the text thread on WhatsApp, and listening to all the guys' current stories and just being part of that community. And something that's forever grateful, and I think that's the win in it, So I think just being part of that community and always knowing like, hey, like I was there, like, I may have scored 10 goals or 1 goal. Like I was still there. I still hung out with these guys. I still talk to these guys to this day, So I think that's part of putting it all perspective from an older guy, in the late 30s saying, hey, 19, 20-year-old, like you guys are living the dream right now. Like the dream. You're in college, you got to have fun. Like what more could you ask for? And I'm sure you're the same way, Coach, thinking back to all this.
Yeah, man. That's something that I'm always going to tell them to enjoy it
Yep.
because they might not realize it, but it's the best 4 years of your life.
Yep.
Perhaps it's going to be the best 5 years of your life. If the road gets passed on August 5th. But it's something that you look back when you're 34, like I am, and I'm like, man, those years when I played college soccer, those were the best. And so I'll definitely make a point to remind the players, hey, enjoy it because you won't get this back. That's the reality.
It goes really, really fast. Just going to some of our chat. David needs to play one more match. That's not going to happen. Sorry. And then we've got Eric back to making it known here. The Pit Press can get behind a New Mexico high school showcase soccer camp and have regional college come and prospect. So Eric runs a very successful podcast, which is highlighting UNM alumni, etc. So thank you, Eric, for that. He's a big supporter of the Gloom. And then we've got a Vamos Gloom. So, no, it's perfect. Coach, we got about 5 more minutes. Talk us through one of your practices and how you start to like figure out your starting lineup. Just walk us through as the players get out of their cars and they're walking onto the pitch. What are you saying? What's the tone?
Well, in preseason, I think overall in the fall, training is very much focused on what do we need to do to win the next match, right? In the fall, we're trying to get results. Luckily, I walked into a program that has won conference championships, that has won regional championships, that has gone to 3 Final Fours in the last 4 years, that has gone to 2 finals in the last 4 years. So, it allows us to dream. It allows us to dream, to go all the way, to win conference championships, to get back to the national championship game. That has to be the goal for us.
Okay.
So in the fall,
Coach, why is that the goal? I'm curious. Why is it?
Because the coaches before us showed it was possible. I think we are all very competitive, and the coaches that came before me showed that it's possible to get there. So we definitely want to replicate those years and go as far as we can go. So definitely during the fall, of course, during preseason, we're gonna set the game model. Our training sessions are gonna be focused on how do we build, how do we create, how do we finish, what's our behaviors in transition, what's our rest defending like. Okay. How do we press? How do we defend in the mid block? How do we defend in a low block? How do we attack and defend set pieces? What's our behaviors if we lost a player? What's our behaviors if we are playing with a man down and we need a goal? What's our behaviors when we're playing with a man down and we just need to hang on? So we're gonna go through a lot of different scenarios, of course, in every single moment of the game, as well as understanding what are our standards, in football and outside of the pitch. So that's going to be our focus during preseason, and during the season, of course, we'll make minor adjustments according to the next opponent. But above everything, how can we improve what we do? I think it's always going to be a lot more about how we do things rather than changing everything according to the opponent. But in the spring, it's going to be a lot more about development. We're going to play matches, of course, and we're going to want to win those games as well. But it's going to be a lot more on how can we develop our game model, how can we develop us as a team, and also in the individual players. So definitely a lot more focused on our IDPs, our individual development plans during the spring, and dive into our game model maybe a lot more in depth. And not really focusing that much about the game that we're playing in the week, and that'll be the spring. So,
and coach, what kind of coach are you on the sidelines? You yelling, screaming, you sitting? What can our Pueblo fans and alumni expect from you on the sideline?
I'm a pretty passionate guy. I come from a place where football is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 10 most popular sports. I grew up in an environment where, my dad took me to the stadium. All my friends, all they know, all they love is football, and for me, it always worked out really well because I've always been really passionate about the game. It's my hobby, it's my work, it's my passion. Around the house, I need to be careful on how many matches I watch in a day so I don't piss off my wife too much, So I'm very passionate, I'm very demanding, but I I also don't want to be a joysticker, you know. So I'm hoping, and I'm a work in progress in all areas of my life, and in coaching, it's not different. So I hope I'm becoming a coach who's coaching at the right tone and being respectful towards everyone, towards the game, towards officials, towards the opposition. But it's also demonstrating that, hey, we are passionate, we want to win, we have a strong desire to succeed, and we're doing everything in our capabilities to do so, to be good enough to win on match day. So yeah, lots of passion, but hopefully at the right amount. Sometimes it's hard because we are all passionate, and the emotions sometimes they get the best out of us. I think we all coaches have been there, but hopefully I'm getting better at that as well.
And what type of player were you?
I was a hard worker, man. I wasn't too technical, you know. I was a team player. I think I had a pretty good understanding of the game. Physically, not the fastest player in the world, so I had to read the game here and there. But definitely a team player, that, you know, that wasn't good enough to play professional soccer, but was good enough to have a decent NCAA Division II career that I'm forever grateful for.
Yep. Coach, thank you so much for your time. I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to mention here, but I think we covered so much. You're always welcome back. But yeah, if you have any other thoughts or ideas, but thank you so much. I mean, I'm so excited to tune in for another Pueblo season.
No, thank you, David. It means a lot. I think the last thing for me is just sending my love to all the people that were affected by the Aspen fires, right? People that were really affected in this area. My thoughts and prayers goes to all the families that lost so much. You know, CSU Pueblo actually had firefighters come to campus, and it served as a base.
I heard about that.
For the firefighters who were, man, you know, putting their lives at risk for the community. So I just wanted to share that, and to also invite all the Pueblo community, all the surrounding communities to come watch us this fall. I'm really excited about the group of guys that we have coming in. I think we have a terrific group that I'm super, super pumped and super humbled that I get to lead them, and cannot wait to get going. So once again, thank you for having me, and go Pack.
Yeah, absolutely. Vamos Gloom. I think another thing to close is I feel like we need to work out some type of, I don't know what you call it, but some type of futsal tournament with CSU Pueblo, you know, men's soccer coming out and training with the Gloom, etc. Because, you know, I'll speak for Sergio and our coach Pat. You know, we would love to, you know, prospect some of your guys, you know, when they're finishing school, that they can come to Santa Fe, which is just 4 hours away, build a career here and play for the Santa Fe Gloom, you know, so that's the thing. I personally would love it, just obviously being a Santa Fe native and a CSU Pueblo alumni. So I think those are a lot of the creative things that we can do for each of our communities.
100%. I think there's a lot of things that we can do there as we look to recruit really skilled players, and you know, I think playing professional futsal could be a dream for a lot of them. So yeah, let's get rolling on that for sure.
Coach, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. And to our sponsors, thank you guys so much on the top banner. Without all of those sponsors, these community conversations would never happen. So, Coach, go Pack. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Thanks.